The fact that you're wanting to sing a birthday to a nation that's done nothing but bring human rights back, I find pretty cringe.
KOE.
We're living up to our principles now.
KOE, you have some liquor there.
Hold on,
Stuff the bottle in your mouth so I can talk, okay? Okay.
I don't think I can do that.
Well, please shut up.
I mean, that sounds philosophy,
God damn it, can I just talk?
Come on.
This is fun.
Your panel
I
host.
was
Let Dylan
interrupted.
talk.
Now Dylan just asked if he can talk. It's funny.
Go.
I don't know.
I mean, Dylan's got a look. Dylan has a sound philosophy going on here, right?
Okay.
I mean,
I am
reality
speaking. So
here,
what I'm gonna wait. No. I'm speaking to more people on my stream than all of your streams combined. So what I'm gonna do is mute myself and just talk to them instead.
I've already muted everyone.
Okay.
Go, Dylan.
Wonderful.
So one is Dylan Burns wanting to sing "Happy Birthday" to the CCP, and I find that absolutely hilarious, knowing what the CCP does, because I know Dylan knows what the CCP does. So it was just a stunt. It was just a stunt that Dylan Burns was trying to pull, and he's just trying to say, "Oh, you guys aren't going to sing Happy Birthday to CCP."
It was just a little jokey joke. You don't need to get so offended at it, okay?
Happy birthday to the premier of China.
Funny, right? So if you're gonna have a joke, make it funny, not about
funny.
a country that constantly
That's
terrorizes its people.
subjective.
It was-
That's subjective. You
Nobody
can't
laughed. I'm
judge
sorry.
people for
Nobody
telling a joke
laughed.
that you
Nobody
think
laughed.
is
Nobody
On this.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, MBs of all ages, welcome to, and I've practiced this, until further notice, super duper hippy dippy big brain chaos dickery octagon cast edition. We've got some special guests for you tonight. We've brought back Mindwaves back from wherever he's been. We've got Dylan Burns, Dr. Heimdall, Stardust, CTV, Phil Coe, Nachos Aspraticus. I'm going to give them all a chance to introduce themselves in a moment. But first, we're going to go over some rules. And as we all know, we use the Tree of Logic format here.
Oh, no.
So please try to keep it civil at all times. Remember that your example is emulated by the chat. We wish to foster an environment of discussion, not name calling, and not telling people to shut the fuck up. Mind
Shut
waves.
the fuck up, Danabo. Right now.
That's why I included the mind waves. Right. Streaming the
Yeah,
debate
don't
on
do.
your own channel is allowed and encouraged. You can use my page to rip content from for your own use if needed. My internet is crap. Don't watch it on my channel. Watch it on everybody else's. Right. Harassing other panelists before, during, or after the stream will not be tolerated. This includes telling your chat to do the same. I take effort ensuring my own chat does not attack, name call, or harass anyone appearing on the panel. We want to welcome an environment. And here comes the format. So each guest will get 2 minutes to give their opening thoughts on each topic. Please do not interrupt during the opening. Once again, this is a Tree of Logic format. The topic will then go into open discussion for 45 minutes where interruption is allowed, but please be civil and interrupt only when there's space to do so. Tree of Logic format. At the end of each topic, each guest will have 2 minutes to close. I will raise my hand, or do this, or this. If your opening or closing statements are going over time, this is to signal you should wrap up within 30 seconds. If you fail to wrap up, I will interrupt and we'll move on to the next guest. Now, if you're unable to speak during the open discussion, please raise your hand and I will note you down in DylanBurnsTV's notebook and put you in a queue to speak next. This is the hippy dippy format. Right. If I'm speaking during the discussion, it is to moderate. Please remain quiet while I'm speaking. I will only do so to direct conversation. I shouldn't have this problem on this panel because all of you are either hosts of roundtables or you're professional guests and you've been on so many that you will definitely be respectful and I will not need to, I'll just be able to sit back and enjoy this one, I think, right? Right?
Sure.
Yeah, that's right. Right. My own rule, the Steelman chair. We've updated the Steelman chair. I will hit you over the head with the Steelman chair when I feel like people are talking past each other. And I'll ask someone to steelman someone else's argument. It won't be sides. I'll just ask someone that's speaking past someone to steelman someone else's argument. You're to attempt to construct your best faith and strongest interpretation of their argument. If you fail to do so, you'll be muted, and I will make that decision.
Nice.
We do have a pronoun rule on this, no misgendering. Only deflects and distracts from debate. Don't do it. If you do it purposefully, and I deem it that you've done it purposefully, I will not send you any invites for any other show I help book. This shouldn't happen on this. So,
Are there
one last thing.
transgenders in this one? I don't think there's anyone that's.
You can still misgender a cis person.
Oh, okay.
So that's fine. No slurs,
Okay.
no TOS. We will start with opening statements and a brief introduction of your channel. I'll give you an extra minute to introduce and do your opening statements. We're going to go straight into the first topic. Let me update this. You have been given the topics beforehand.
Oh, you
yeah.
said doo-doo, by the way.
Do. And One last thing, I would like to thank each and every one of you for appearing today. You're all people I respect, all people I enjoy watching, all people I enjoy hanging out with, and I feel blessed to have you on my show. It's a privilege. Thank you very much. Right. So the first topic. Let me change my title. The first topic, as we're going into the 4th of July on Sunday, happy Independence Day to all the Americans out there. I think can I add a Canada Day? I'm not sure what that is. Did you get independence? I don't know. So the first topic is going to be, is patriotism good actually? Dylan of the
Beautiful.
Burns TV.
So, I mean, for me, it's always been patriotism is something that can do beautiful things. It can do quite ugly things. If you use patriotism as a way to like, hey, this is why we should benefit our country. This is why. So I'm getting a lot of echo. People hear that? Like people talking in the background.
Somebody's got
Yeah, I'm
some
hearing
device on.
Somebody said
There we
something
go.
about a router. Okay, there we go. So patriotism can be a beautiful thing where you use it to criticize your country and advance its interests. For example, MLK described himself as a patriot. Why? His life's work was dedicated to criticizing the United States in the goal of advancing it forward and making it a better place to live. That is patriotic activity. Talking about the progress we've made is also patriotic activity because you want to maintain and continue that progress. I want to preserve things like the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and other freedoms that we have in the United States. But, of course, patriotism could also be used to try to roll over criticisms. For example, you can say, oh, well, if you don't love it, leave it, as a kind of criticism of any time somebody goes on TV and criticizes racism or structural inequality or something like that. It's the idea that if you criticize the United States in some way, it's unpatriotic activity. If anybody saw somebody criticize somebody's work, if I go to somebody who's an alcoholic relative of mine who has problems and I say, you've done a lot of great things with your life, but this alcoholic issue you have, it needs to be changed, and I want to help you, give you the resources to change it. Nobody would do that out of hatred. People would do that out of love. If I didn't love that person, I wouldn't bother. I'd say, fuck them. I don't care. Go destroy your life. So I think some people who use patriotism as kind of a weapon to attack those who are trying to benefit the country and improve the country's conditions, I think that is a gross use, a misuse of patriotism. But I think patriotism can be a beautiful thing, and this 4th of July, will be celebrating it in that manner.
And not that you need to, but do you want to let people know who you are?
Um,
What your channel is?
My name.
That's DylanBurnsTV. There's no introduction needed.
I'm Jamal Khashoggi. I've been hiding in the. I've been hiding, in hiding for years. They think I'm dead. I'm not. I'm just streaming on Twitch.
Wait a minute, hold on. Are you the Dylan Burns that I keep hearing about? Are
No,
you that
Jamal.
guy?
No, Jamal Khashoggi, the other guy.
Jamal Khashoggi. Oh, because that other guy, right? Like he was actually supposed to be like a big deal. So
Yeah, he
but
was
maybe though
kind
it was
of
really
a little bit.
it was really only like one night. He's like a one night a week Andy where he's really popular.
You know, he kind of
Wow,
you know.
all right. Let's
He
calm down,
kind
let's
of,
calm
you know,
down.
his view on what he got a little chopped up, you know. But okay, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
Thank you very much, Moon Waves. Before we go into open discussion, we've got one last shout out, and that's for myself. I am Dan Abbo, twitch.tv/Dan Abbo. I book panels. I send invites for the Hippy Dippy. I send invites for Drunken Debates. I've also helped Dr. Ian book his So You Think You Know Politics political trivia game show. And I've been sending guests over to Stardust for a Chaos Cast. If you want to be on any of the shows I help book, there is a booking and recruitment section in my Discord. Go and join it, put your name down, put your politics, and we'll see if we can get you on a panel. Also, one last thing to advertise, shellshockcbd.com. Go to shellshockcbd.com and enter code DANABO for 10% off all purchases. Sprout's going to show you some bomb drops. They are the bomb. So go over there, support veterans, get 10% off all purchases. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. You're free to shout at each other.
Okay, so first things first, right? First things first is since the 4th of July is coming up, I think we should all join together in a rendition of Happy Birthday to the Country, right? So I'll lead it off. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday,
I've muted them all on my end. You're welcome.
Wow. What the fuck?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Birthday to the hippy dippy, right? Or to the country, right? They didn't partake in the singing of the happy birthday. What does that tell me right off the bat? Suspect
I
communist.
wouldn't even help blow.
Okay, I'm gonna mute them. Give them a little bit more time. Okay, a little bit more time. Okay.
Be patriotic too.
Of
I'm
what,
sure
the
they're
Soviet
patriotic
Union?
if they're communist.
Of
I don't
what,
know.
the Soviet
Yeah,
Union?
they're definitely not
They
American.
can be communist to the
Come on, one at a time, one at a
USSR.
time, one at a time, one at a time.
Suspect communists.
This is
Come
too far.
on, one at a time, one at a time. So, right, we're gonna have to do hands already. Who wants to go
No,
first?
that's actually a really good question. Is patriotism these sort of
got you,
like
Phil.
meaningless displays of I don't know what do you want
Failure?
to call them? Like loyalty or worship of a country? Is that what patriotism means?
No,
Do we-
patriotism,
do we have
according to
sit
the
around the flag
Oxford
and
English,
sing songs to be a patriot?
according to
What do you think
Oxford
they were?
English Dictionary, patriotism is defined as love for your country and the desire to defend it. I think that's a good thing. What's wrong with that? Why?
Also, I would add that we want to have the best version of that, right? So you're constantly updating and fixing bugs and troubleshooting and problem solving.
Are
and
you-
trying to
are
have
you
the
already
most
drunk, Nacho?
optimal, hey, I'm
Are you
about
already
5
drunk?
beers in, man. This is
Yeah.
4th of July weekend, okay?
Oh, I didn't even.
Woo!
know
Like
people
I
were
said,
in here
getting
ready-
intoxicated.
Like I said
Ready
in my
to
intro,
celebrate
it's
America.
not about how a country falls, and it's not about how you fall. It's about how you get up and you keep moving forward. And
So
like
my-
I said, you're going to hear a whole bunch of people talk about how America's fallen, how we've done these terrible things, and this is why we shouldn't be patriotic in this country. That's just plain and utter bullshit, because it's about how you get back up. It's about how you move forward. With that being said, like, I think that patriotism is an amazing thing, and that yes, sometimes it is mind waves, sometimes it is doing symbols of patriotism, right? So a symbol of patriotism could have just been singing "Happy Birthday" to the nation, as it's getting closer to our birthday, right? And another symbolism could be standing and placing your hand over your heart, or saluting if you're authorized to do so during the national anthem.
To be authorized to do that, by the way, just so you know. And mind
does-
waves, right? Back to
Hold
what you
on,
were
hold
saying.
on.
though.
Wait. Before you go, does refusing to do so mean that you're not a patriot? Like, does that necessarily mean that you are?
It shows definitely a lack of respect for the men whose lives that came before you and died for your right to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do, right? So it shows
I
a lack
think-
of respect, to be sure. Should the government actually round you up and take you off to jail? No. But it doesn't mean that just because that shouldn't happen doesn't also mean that there was a lack of respect being shown, right?
Why?
So
Wait,
back
one
to what you said a minute ago, right? Back to what you were saying a minute
be a
ago
patriot
with
doesn't
regards to
necessitate
like
respect for this
worshiping
idea
and
of a
the
country,
happy
though.
birthday, right? Like whenever I sing happy
what-
birthday to
You
somebody,
love
it's not
your
necessarily
country.
worship.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
You
okay,
know what I
I
mean?
don't. I
Wait,
don't know about
Stardust,
that. I don't.
thank you.
Sorry,
Go for it,
sorry.
Stardust.
I don't know about that. I think you can feel national pride, you can feel love, you can feel devotion for your country and still not partake in things that you find are meaningless gestures, right? So like for example, not everybody wanted to sing happy birthday to America, and I think that's fine. It might
I
for
didn't
some
want to
people
do it
it's
because
just
I
not
thought it
for
was
them.
insulting to the United States to have such a poor rendition to the happy birthday song for it.
Well,
Honestly,
until
I
your
see
King of
you guys kind
Extreme's
of like
beautiful
traitors.
summer sounds and my voice came in and
Fuck,
just
dude.
saved the whole thing. Then it was just beautiful. It was just 5 stars. Give me the Grammy.
I mean, can we use that in everyday thing? Can you be proud of your family and then decide not to sing happy birthday to your mom when it's her birthday? Even if it's a horrible rendition, just because you decide it's a horrible rendition, or you decide that this isn't, you don't want to do
Some
something
family
that's
members
meaningless,
don't like
right?
it when you sing to them. So like
Well,
some
and
family
so
members don't like it when you sing
did
to them.
America, I'm sorry, did the country of America tell you that they don't like it when you sing happy birthday to America?
It didn't tell you that it likes it. It didn't tell you that it likes it when you sing to it. Because it's an inanimate object, my dude.
My first
It's
impression
an
as-
inanimate
my
object.
first-
Folks
my
just
first
hate
impression
showings of
as of-
affection.
No, 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 no.
they
Is
hate
this,
that.
is
As
this,
of anyone
is
else's
this
first
disrespectful?
impression
Me dressed
is
up
that
like
you
a
sing
clown
happy
and
birthday.
singing "Happy Birthday" to America? That somebody might look at that and think that's really
difference-
disrespectful.
the
I
difference-
look
Considering
like a
all of us
clown
were
right
singing
now.
it, considering all of us were singing
Fine,
it,
fine.
right? I don't think it would have been that thing.
I'll
The
go
difference
respect
here is that
America.
Nobody was dressed like a
Maybe
clown.
I'll
Respect
story.
America.
The difference here is that the only feelings
Different than-
getting hurt over nobody like going around a flag or singing songs or whatever is you.
There you
guys. The
go,
ones that are
Dylan.
wearing flags,
That's
right?
more
The
like
ones
it.
that are supposed to be
Attaboy.
celebrating the
God
great patriots.
damn,
You guys
there
are
we
the ones
go,
crying
Dylan.
that nobody's willing to sing these
A
songs,
plus.
right?
No, we're not crying.
There
We're
you
just-
go.
I'm
Boy,
making
Dylan,
a
that's
point.
more
I'm
like
making a
it.
point,
There you
right,
go.
Nine Waves? I'm making a point. So the point is that we all sing happy birthday to our family members, or the ones that enjoy it.
Yeah, but
and so,
the
and
United
so far,
States is not a family member. It's not a person.
So far, the country of America hasn't told me that they don't enjoy being sung happy birthday to. So I'll continue to sing happy birthday to the nation. As I do sing happy birthday to Jesus Christ on Christmas. All right, it may not be the exact day of that Christ was born, but I sing happy birthday to Christ.
You know
on
what?
Christmas,
I
all right?
similarly
So-
treat a piece of cloth like a god. Yes.
Is that a
don't
thing?
give a
People
shit.
actually
Listen, hold
sing-
on.
one
I
second.
don't give a shit.
Hey,
You say
okay,
happy
okay.
Do
birthday,
people
right?
actually?
What you
right,
just
I have a question.
Sproutacus.
Too many people talking.
you-
Too many people talking. One at a time.
Gently, I
One
have
at a time.
just a quick question. Do people actually sing happy birthday to Jesus on Christmas?
Yes.
Really?
Really? Do
Yeah.
people do that?
Sometimes.
I
Yes.
swear to
You
God,
just-
I've never
you just-
heard
What do you
that.
mean?
Like, it,
So
are you
Sus-
talking about-
suspect Christian. Dylan's a suspect Christian now.
Bethlehem. Yeah, they do.
If, if,
Are you just
if I
talking
can
about the
just
carols?
respond really quickly to Sproutacus, just like you said, America, the country didn't ask you to sing to it. It didn't ask you to not, it didn't ask you to wait, no, sorry, I messed it up. Okay. It did not ask you to stop singing, right? But it also did not ask you to actually sing in the first place. So, I mean, I think it would be like, with that reasoning, I think it would be normal to accept that some people don't want to sing happy
sorry.
birthday to America
Sure,
without
that's the
being.
Stardust, what family member in your family, right?
Why are you personifying the idea of the nation? This is so weird.
It's
This
a
is
little
like-
weird.
The nation
No,
is
I
not a
speak for
person.
America. No, I speak for America. No, I speak for America.
Wait.
What family member
the
or what
nation
birthday party
of
did you go to?
America.
What birthday party did you go to in which the person who's having the party is for them, right?
They run
What
away.
birthday party
Yeah,
did they
we're not
say?
gonna
Did they
sing
say,
at them.
hey, can everyone sing at me? Like what birthday party have you gone to where they're like,
This
"Oh,
is
okay,
so
here's the thing,
performative.
birthday party.
on me.
Who
Come
the
on, happy birthday to me.
Sproutacus.
Okay.
I mean, let me speak for a second, okay? Sproutacus. If you go to a birthday party, that party has been thrown with the intention of celebrating that person. The intention's already there. So if you're just somebody, a citizen of America, and it happens to be July 4th, and maybe somebody doesn't want to actually sing, they can still feel prideful of the country. They might not be at a birthday party for America, they might not be at a July 4th party. And either way, America is not a person. It just like you would I respect everybody who their right to sing happy birthday, and I also partake in it. It should go vice versa, in that you respect other people's right to not sing, because you know what, maybe their throat is tired, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they don't like singing, maybe
They think that
Yeah.
like patriotism is a lot more than just singing songs or celebrating the birthday of a country. Maybe patriotism means something like actually doing
True.
something for their community or their fellow people of their nation, right? Maybe that's what
yes.
patriotism means.
Anyways, I'm with you on that. Like the one of the best things, like I don't give a fuck if you stand up and sing. I don't care. But I just wish that people would. I want more people to be involved. I just want everybody to understand that regardless of what problems we have here, and like I said in my opening statements, I don't think you should let America like get away with everything just because we've done a lot of good shit in the past or whatever, or because we have free speech or whatever else we have, But like that's one of the most amazing things about this country is that we have the First Amendment. We have the right to stand up and speak our mind. We want to say about the country. We have the right to criticize our country and our government when they're doing the wrong things. So that's one of the most amazing things I think that I like about this country. And regardless of where else you live on the planet, I feel like you have the most freedoms and we have the most rights for any peoples, whether you're LGBTQ, any of that stuff. We have a long way to go and we can work on a lot of things, but this is still the freest country on the planet. So.
I do want to mention that it's been 100 years since the development of the Chinese Communist Party. It's the anniversary. So I know you all helped me sing a happy birthday to the CCP. Happy birthday, Chairman G. Happy birthday, Chairman G. That's wonderful.
Finally, a country I can sing happy birthday to. Let's go.
Wait, Joy Hellfire.
No, we're celebrating the actual expansion of human rights.
I'm speaking. I'll have to mute everyone. Come on. You're all panel hosts. You know how to do this properly. You don't have to keep shouting over each other. Before everyone continues, I've got a question for the panel, right? As you are all aware, I'm a British immigrant. I live in Arkansas, and I've got 2 kids. My son is now he's going to start kindergarten next year, and he's going to start having to pledge allegiance to the United States and the flag. Do you think that's something that should be forced on kids? Is that patriotic, and should this continue? Go around the panel.
We're
Actually,
showing kids,
I have
of
no
course
problem
not.
with
If
it.
they want to do it,
But
fine.
yes, this panel is getting so contentious, Danabo. I think everybody needs to probably look at shell shock CBD gummies. I mean, like, I think that's probably the best thing that they could do going forward. But also, if there's people getting together and they're wanting to have a party and a celebration of really whatever kind, whether it's 4th of July or take your pick of what the occasion is, and you're one of those folks that are going, no, you shouldn't have that party and you shouldn't enjoy it. And you're like, sorry, you're kind of an asshole. I mean, that's just the way it is. People wanting to get together, have a good time. God bless them, let them have a good time. Is there better advancements we could make, and is there mistakes we made? Sure, but goddamn, we're having a great time. We're getting together, and we're celebrating the founding of a nation that helped expand human rights greater than any other nation in all our history. And like the fact that you're wanting to sing a birthday to a nation that's done nothing but bring human rights back, I find pretty cringe. And with that, I yield.
Wait, that was directed at me.
The one person who's saying that we.
Wait, no. Wait. There's an order here.
So
Come
China's
on.
pulled human rights back. You can't even deny it.
Heem had his hand up. I brought him in the book. His Heem's go. Go, Heem. I'll write you down, Dylan.
Let Dylan go. Let Dylan go. He's too hype. I gotta hear what he has to say.
Okay, so this is really weird because I said that as a joke and a meme, right? But the thing is, this also revealed a certain thing about Americans framing on things. That I mentioned that, and the only thing they see, they've denounced a whole country as the one thing they did was destroy human rights, right?
It's the government.
The government,
Yeah,
okay.
we're talking about the government.
Wait. Okay, so if that's the case, then the United States government, and we talk about that. So I
We've
could just
talked about
say
it's not
all
perfect,
the
but
United
it's still
States
better.
government did was perpetuate slavery and systematic oppression. Wait, that's extremely
We've actually
reductive.
fixed
Let me
that.
go.
We've actually-
Jesus
actually-
Christ. KOE.
We're living up to our principles now.
KOE, you have some liquor
That's-
there.
hold on, that
Stuff the
sounds-
bottle
that
in your
sounds-
mouth so I can talk,
Please.
okay?
don't
Okay.
think I can do
so, well, please shut up.
I mean, that sounds
God
philosophy, right?
damn it. Can I just talk?
Come on.
This is fun.
Your panel
I
host.
was
Let Dylan
interrupted.
talk.
Now Dylan just asked if he can talk. It's funny.
Go.
I don't know.
I mean, Dylan's got a look. Dylan has a sound philosophy going on here, right?
Okay.
I mean,
I am
reality
speaking. So what
here-
I'm gonna wait. No. I'm speaking to more people on my stream than all of your streams combined. So what I'm gonna do is mute myself and just talk to them instead.
I've already muted everyone.
Okay,
Go, Dylan.
wonderful. So, hey chat, how's it going? So the problem with what KOE said is that he can denounce the entirety of the government or the government's actions or all of what China has done in the modern age to basically just destroy human rights. Where a more total view could talk about the advancements they made in infrastructure, the advancements they made in technology, and all of the different space technology that they're making advancements in, advancements in medicine. The thing that we can collapse the entirety of that into just specifically human rights abuses is strange, but then we're going to be angry when the Americans or anybody else tries to just make all of America's achievements just slavery and racism and oppression and war instead of the other things, which were the good things that America did. It's just it feels like an extremely American supremacist position that we can do that on foreign countries, but if anybody does it to us, oh, that's terrible, that's horrible.
Everything that's afforded me. But at the same time, I don't really sing happy birthday or get a jumping castle on Christmas or do anything like this. I don't find that, I don't need to do that. Even when I go to sporting events, I don't ever feel like fucking I need to stand up and sing loud and proud. I think there's so many other ways you can just be educated. You can advocate for the ideals of your country and policies and all these kind of things. And honestly, a really good way to have patriotism, I think, that's not toxic, well, less toxic, is through sports, right? The Olympics are coming up. I think patriotism in these kind of things is a beautiful thing. It brings people together, and I think that those kind of things we should embrace. But just raw patriotism, I don't know. One other thing I wanted to mention is that as someone who lives in Canada, and I'm sure as you Americans, if you've ever been in Canada, you notice this as well. As soon as you go into America, you see significantly more American flags and American flag paraphernalia on people's trucks and these kind of things. And I just find that like maybe there's a level that is like too aggressive with that. And you know, there's better ways to channel your love for your country than to sing happy birthday maybe.
All right, is that it? All right,
I would agree with that. I think the
patriotism.
best way you can you can show pride for your country is to vote and be involved in your political system. Have your voice heard.
Yep. If you want to improve the nation, then be the
Can I-
change you want to see.
I
Can
did
I
want to
add
ask
one more
Dylan some
Can I-
things though.
Wait, before you do that, can I just add one
Go
more
ahead.
thing? So don't you think that like for example, embracing something like immigration would be something that is very patriotic? I pose this to the conservatives on the panel. Like,
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
isn't immigration like an American one of the things that's so great about America that it was built on
Yes.
the back of immigrants? So
Yes.
don't you
Yeah,
think that
Absolutely.
so do you guys agree that rejecting immigration is an un-American thing to do?
Yes, if you're just like rejecting it wholly, then yeah, that's pretty un-American. I
Agree.
I come from a family of immigrants too, so
Cool.
I'm like half Mexican.
I
And then
agree,
on
yeah.
my mom's side, we immigrated from like France,
Everybody-
Scotch, Irish, or something. Yeah.
Everybody else, I guess.
Yeah,
I
I mean, I
Sorry, I kind of
I'm-
froze out. What was up?
sorry, no, go ahead.
Sorry, I said like if part of being a patriot, right, is embracing the ideals of America, and I would say one of the biggest ideals of America is immigration, right? It's built on the back of immigrants and so on and so forth, and it's one of the most multicultural nations in the world. So, would you guys agree that rejecting a concept of like immigration is unpatriotic?
No
Rejecting
comment from the conservatives.
Yeah, I agree. If,
No,
if you're talking,
sorry,
if
I
you're
was
speaking
typing
in
on my
terms of
phone.
like, if someone is wholly against all immigration, then yeah, that's pretty un-American.
Yeah,
But
it-
if
it's
someone
certainly
wants to-
un-American.
if someone,
So here's the
like,
thing,
because
though,
this is
most-
my position, I think if we should focus on immigrating here legally, you know what I mean, and not encouraging people to come here illegally, then yeah, that's really it. I mean, I don't think
you-
anything's
would
wrong
you-
with
I
that.
don't really like
say
the-
that the
I don't
would
like-
you say that the Republican Party is unpatriotic for then totally ignoring the state of immigration in the United
Wait.
States right now and not doing anything to
Before-
expand immigration
Wait,
at
wait,
all?
wait, wait,
Before
wait,
we
wait,
go on
wait,
this
wait,
tangent,
seriously,
I
are you
wanna-
seriously
Would
gonna
you
say
say
that
ignoring
ignoring
it?
Before-
Really?
before we go on this
Really?
tangent.
Kamala Harris still
Before-
hasn't
What a
been to
weird
the border.
definition of the word
Kamala
ignoring.
Harris
Before-
still hasn't been to the border.
Yeah,
You're all panel
Oh, my
guests
God.
and panel hosts. You know
So-
how to do this.
okay,
Stop
so
talking.
before
I just asked
we-
a question. I want
Jesus.
somebody to answer it for me. That's all.
Oh, come
All
on,
right,
let Dylan
Dylan.
talk.
so
Dylan.
before we go on this tangent, Nacho, you wanted to ask me a
Well, I
question.
don't know. I mean, like there was a
Oh yeah,
ETV, don't do this. Dylan.
I have it written down.
And he shouldn't have fucking went to go swinging his fucking viewer dick in the fucking in the panel, right? Like I don't actually give a fuck about that. And then like that was just
Wait,
childish.
one second. One second.
It was childish.
It was
Yeah.
childish. Well, you shouldn't have talked over me. I'm sorry.
I didn't talk over you, as a
You
matter of fact.
did.
I was
Literally,
sitting there waiting.
you
and
and
Bradley
KOE
was
talked
actually
over
the one
me.
that was
What
interrupting
is
you.
going
But
on there?
now
Oh my
that
God.
you've done
Dylan, if you
that,
agree to be on
right,
the
this is
panel,
where
you
we're
should
at.
be
I
on
don't know
the
what to
panel.
tell
Jesus
you.
Christ.
Okay,
Look, all
I'm
these
tired
grown-ass
of my
men with
rights
their
being
feelings
right.
hurt. Let 'em
I'm
out.
tired of my rights as a clown
Jesus
being
Christ.
over-explained by
True.
both of these people here.
I'm happy that
Right.
TV thinks they have a big penis, though. American Nacho, can you hear your question now?
It was more like a
Sure.
small one that you were over exaggerating, but we can go ahead with that.
You can look at my penis
So-
after stream, okay? American Nacho.
I'm curious, as
I wanna
someone
in on
who is a lot
I'm
more
sure it's on
in-
microfilm.
Jesus fucking Christ.
as someone who's a lot more informed in geopolitics,
Yeah.
even just from my brief brush up with geopolitics and studying other countries and what their laws are and how they're like some of their histories. I mean, can you help me either confirm or debunk what I think is a fact that America is the best option, like wholly as a country, like as far as general effect, as far as all the things that we offer to people.
Well, it depends on exactly like what you prioritize, right? If you prioritize freedoms, it depends on what
Well,
types of freedoms, right? Because for
That's what I
example,
mean, though.
well, for example,
I
like
mean,
there's
generally.
yeah, it's
Because
difficult.
I'm sure if you want a specific thing, right?
Like, for example, like in our country, we have the freedom to own a gun. And that's the thing that in a lot of places you don't have. But a lot of other places which don't let you have guns have much higher standards of living. Your people live longer. They have higher wages overall. They have more
Healthcare is
union
covered.
protection. Healthcare is covered. They have stuff like that. But if you look at the United States on other things, you could talk about the fact that we have we have a much larger economy. There's the fact that when it comes to like certain rights are enshrined in the Constitution.
We have national
when you
security.
but the thing is, when it comes to
The
freedoms,
biggest-
other governments don't
biggest dick
monitor
in
their
the whole
people
world.
nearly as much as we do, though. When it comes to like online monitoring, and when you look at the Patriot Act, there's some countries that actually don't do that to the same extent. But if something like this matters, we do have the most powerful military on earth. Personally, I don't think that really dictates on whether you, as an American living in America, like have a better like lifestyle.
But I feel
for some people that matters.
I feel like that's what's great about America too, because even if on a federal level, like the federal government isn't going to do everything that you want it, some states specifically can do things a lot better than other states. So you could say, well, I'm going to move to America, but I'm going to move to this state because this state has more, more of this.
That
this,
is
this,
true.
and this, and they can cover everything.
That could be a benefit. And for some people, it would be where, like, in some states, like, you can have, like, more social programs, more stuff like that. But then somebody could easily bring up the fact that, like, in some states, that means conversion therapy is banned, and in other states, it isn't banned, which I amount that to torture. And so when in other countries, like in Canada, one quick federal ban is going to be a lot more normalized than having something like that happen in the United States. And so, like, the thing about states is, if there's something that you think should be banned across the board, something like states' rights doesn't apply to that well, right? Because I believe conversion therapy should be banned across the board, where I think that should be federal, where it's become a states' rights issue. The same thing with like gay marriage was like the same thing.
That's what's great. But that's what's great about the way that our government works, though, right? Because you can get it banned in your state.
I'm saying there's goods and bads, right? Where I could be
Yeah,
like,
but
hey,
you would never say that, like, oh, well, we should just leave slavery up to
on the whole,
states, right?
Yeah.
You would never say
that's
that.
infringing on somebody's some other person's freedoms, right? If you're leaving
no,
this
but I
up
think
to the
that's
state.
well,
that's
so,
written into our constitution too. It took some
To
people a
infringe
lot
on other
longer
people's
the
to
thing
wake
is,
up to that.
what I'm saying is that every type of
all men are
government
created
has
equal.
its positives and negatives, right? And personally, for the way I want to live my life, I believe the American style has more positives than negatives for the way I want to live my life.
Base.
But I believe there's a lot of positives that other countries have that I want to import here. Like when it comes to things like healthcare,
I'm with you on that.
when it comes to things like, for example, Canada has banned conversion therapy on the national level. It should be the same way here, on the federal level. So so yeah, and of course, here's another thing: freedom. We're the freest country on planet. Woohoo! What about the fucking drug war? That's something that CTV isn't even here to see here. But the thing is, the fact that we have a drug war, like
Canada, by the way,
Portugal's more free when it comes to drugs than we are. Like that's just a fact.
Just a quick reminder, as Americans, maybe you guys can, it's always good to look at.
Can I say
other
one
countries.
last thing? I'm sorry.
Just quick.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The thing is, and let's say you're making the states' rights argument, at any point in time, the president of the United States could track down on drugs because federal law overrides state law. So that states' rights thing doesn't even apply to drugs if the president just changes his mind about it.
Also, I was just gonna wait. Can I just
Pretty
take
close
back
to
off
changing
of
the
that?
law federally, so
Can I
we're
just
trying
piggyback
to
off
fix
of
that
real
mistake
quick,
too.
real quick. So I was also just saying, just remind yourselves always that Canada has had fully legalized marijuana for the last 3 years, and I would say that's a pretty fucking sick freedom to have.
Yeah.
Right. Before anyone else jumps in, before anyone else jumps in, Spartacus has been waiting for a long time. I've got him in my notepad twice.
So I'd like to point out a few things. One is, and because I haven't really had a full time to actually talk. So one is Dylan Burns wanting to sing "Happy Birthday" to the CCP, and I find that absolutely hilarious, knowing what the CCP does. Because I know Dylan knows what the CCP does. So it's just a stunt. It was just a stunt that Dylan Burns was trying to pull. And he's just trying to say, "Oh, you guys aren't going to sing Happy Birthday to CCP. Oh, you guys are terrible. Why aren't you patriotic to the CCP?" There's a lot of reasons I'm not patriotic to the CCP. So now we're gonna move on to Mind Waves saying, are conservatives not patriotic because they don't care about what happens on the border?
Not conservatives. He said Republicans.
Republicans.
yeah.
Okay. So Republicans are not patriotic because they don't care what happens on the border. It's not that they don't care, right? So what's been happening on the border has been happening on the border for a long amount of time. Actually, in the beginning of Joe Biden's president, it increasingly got worse. And Kamala Harris has still not been to the border. She has still not been down to the border.
I don't care about the border. That doesn't matter to me. I want policy changes.
The closest she's gotten is El Paso, which is 30 miles away from the border. Still not at the border, okay?
El Paso is the border, dude. Have you ever been to Texas, you fucking dumbass? Have you ever been in El Paso?
Name calling.
It is the
This
border.
is symbolic gesture
Oh, come
rather
on,
than
let's
just
not make
doing
that.
it.
Why?
She went for like 13 minutes, didn't she?
The El Paso.
Also, let's talk about that. Somebody visiting the border is that really what we care about, or is it actually
you're in
passing
charge of
Maybe.
immigration?
Hey, but you brought up immigration.
Or-
If she's
or-
supposed to be in
please
charge
shut
of
up,
immigration,
Or let me
Yeah.
finish, please.
Managers are supposed to be where they're in
Or-
charge.
One
Or
person
do
at a
we
time.
actually care about
Or-
passing policy, right? Passing policy that'll actually change what happens at the border, that'll actually change, who is or who isn't allowed here and how easily they're able to immigrate here.
Hey,
How
Sprout,
easily
that's
they're
not
able to
actually
immigrate
true.
here legally, right? That is the goal, right?
So
Okay.
then,
Sprout, that's not
wouldn't you think
actually-
that the
hold on,
person that's supposed to
Sprout,
be in
that's-
charge of immigration needs to go and visit the border to see what the conditions are like?
I got it.
No,
Yeah, Sprout,
they get
that's not
briefed on
actually
that
true,
shit. I
though.
don't give a fuck if they go there physically. That's
okay,
just
so-
a gesture. Gestures
think
mean
that
nothing.
should
to me.
manage their own
Too many people
department.
talking again. Why do you keep doing this?
Danabo, if you want, you can just
Too many
give the
people
reins to me.
talking,
I'll
too many
moderate the
people
panel.
talking. Too many people talking. Too
There's
many
a
people
fact
talking.
check. CTV
Nope.
wants to fact check what I said.
CTV, go.
Thank you.
Yeah, look, fact check, right? Sprout. Kamala Harris went to the border. Lauren Boebert, right, picked her up and carried her ass down there in a cutout, took a picture. So Kamala Harris was at the fucking border. Lauren Boebert, praise Jesus, she took her down there, right? So Kamala's been there, right?
But she hasn't been to Europe either, right?
Mindwaves, just to piggyback, you know how you said like who cares if Kamala Harris hasn't been to the border? Conservatives like Ted Cruz, he went to Israel after the recent bombing with Hamas, and he went for a photo op. Meanwhile, he had to run away from his own state during a power outage. So like, it's
Why are we
they
even
like
talking about this?
like I don't know
Can
how
I
we
get-
got to this.
Yeah.
Can I respond to
with
the
Mike.
idea that
Honest-
wait?
Point
Can
to
I
the
respond to
border
the
and
China
we
thing
just
that
trying
happened
to do
like
a Me Too.
10 minutes ago?
You did it too.
Dylan Stardust.
Okay, so the thing is, this is just really interesting to me because if the argument is like, okay, how dare you do that? Even though it was done in a joking manner, even we're gonna lambast me for that because Sprouticus Snowflake angry at left-wing comedy for some reason, right? Gonna be one of the people boycotting people for offensive jokes now. I understand it. It melted you a little bit. It's summer, so the snowflakes are
I'm
melting.
good.
But
I'm good.
Make it a funny joke.
the thing is, it's interesting that we can hold that because you know what that flag's done. Okay, we want to turn this around for a second. We know what this flag's done as well. We know how it's perpetuated slavery. We know how it interned Japanese people. We know how it has been
What
the
it's
fine.
doing.
Wait. Okay, what it's
Doing's
doing?
different than done.
Yemen. Want to talk about Yemen? We could talk about Yemen and the hundreds of thousands of children who starved to death under a blockade, which we backed. You want to talk about Yemen? We can do that. Oh, wait, that was your guy. Your guy perpetuated that. Now, I could talk about Joe Biden also continuing the blockade, but at least he stopped selling offensive arms sales of being used to literally tear children apart in Yemen. You want to talk about Yemen? How about the backing of LCC? LCC, a brutal dictator and you want to go through the whole
Saudi
thing?
Arabia's not gonna
While
go
they're
for it.
not
The war
equivalent.
machine is bipartisan, though. We know that, right?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
by. Yeah, but there was also a
it not?
distinct difference between
about to
Biden
say.
and Trump. And
Biden's about to finish what the
wait.
neocons started in
And
the
it doesn't
2000s.
even matter at the end of the day because the argument was about flags. So I believe flags represent more than just a government. I believe it represents a people. I believe it represents a little bit more. So if I have these little things on there, who knows what it represents? Maybe I'm just saying, hey, man, I'm friends with the Chinese people are cool, right? Who knows? It was just a little jokey joke. You don't need to get so offended at it, okay?
Saying happy birthday to the
Joke,
premier
just
of
make it
China.
funny, right? So if you're gonna have a joke, make it funny, not about
was
a
funny.
country that
Right.
constantly terrorizes
That's
its people.
subjective.
It was-
That's subjective. You
Nobody
can't
laughed.
you
I'm
can't
sorry.
judge people for
Nobody
telling a
laughed.
joke that you
Nobody
think
laughed.
is
Nobody
funny.
laughed.
On this panel, nobody
Nobody laughed.
No one laughed.
No one
Okay,
laughed.
okay,
Wow.
I laughed, Dylan. I got you. I
Just a
got you.
second. if I can
Sprouticus,
speak,
you're right.
just
People
a
laugh
second.
at you a
Right,
lot,
right, right.
Just a
Sprouticus.
second.
No, I'm
Give me
talking.
just
I'm
a
talking.
second,
Nobody else talking.
please.
Stardust.
Please.
Stardust,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Just because you don't find the joke funny doesn't mean that it's not funny. I thought it was funny. Maybe I didn't laugh at it, but I still thought it was funny. Do you laugh at every joke somebody tells to you? I don't think so.
If it's a good
No,
one.
I don't. I certainly don't. Are you fucking psycho? Only a psycho laughs
you
at every
need
joke
to-
that's told to them.
If it's a
Holy
good
shit.
one,
Okay, I
yeah.
do.
And yeah,
I
I
thought
think
it was
it's
funny,
even
I do.
weirder to like.
You know
no,
what?
I will not laugh
From
at this
now-
joke. I won't do it.
From
Like, I mean,
from
come
now
go
on,
ahead.
I'm
Go
going
for
to
it.
no
Enjoy
longer
it.
politely laugh at anyone's jokes. I've been doing this for conservatives for a long time, and I'm now never going to hold that back anymore. Where anytime a conservative tells me a joke, I'm like, haha, and I'll do that, but I'm never going to do that again. Sprouticus, you've taken away that
If we
freedom.
know we got a genuine
No.
interaction
Usually I
from
just
you,
laugh
look,
at
hold
them. I
on,
usually
hold
don't
on.
laugh at them,
Hold on,
so.
we know we got a genuine reaction from Mr. Dylan Burns, right? That we show regularly over in the Wolf's Den, right? A genuine laugh, folks. If you go over there, we'll show it to you sometime. The genuine laugh of Dylan Burns, right?
Is it genuine? Can you truly know?
Oh yeah, it's completely genuine. There's no way you were faking that shit.
Who knew that somebody would be so upset over a joke they didn't find funny? Like, my God,
I mean,
dude.
are we
This is great.
supposed?
This is
are we
funny.
supposed to be
Chill.
patriotic? And are we supposed to be? Stardust, are you patriotic of the CCP?
Yeah, I can be
Is
patriotic
that
to
funny to
America,
watch?
This is
and I can still
ridiculous.
make jokes about the
is it-
CCP.
Is
That's
it funny?
funny.
Is it funny?
Can
Is
you-
it funny to be
who's the one
patriotic?
who's
Is it
talking
funny to be
about,
patriotic?
deplatforming?
And
Yeah,
I asked
it's
I asked a
kinda
simple
funny.
Who are the
question.
It is
people
kinda
talking
funny.
about
Simple
deplatforming?
question.
The problem
for jokes?
here-
Come
the
on.
real
Isn't
problem
it the
here-
left that gets
simple.
pissed
My
off at
question
jokes
was
all the
extremely
time? So-
simple.
No,
and
the
it was
real
cares?
and there
You
is a
can
can
throw it-
complain
oh my
about
God.
deplatforming.
All right,
I
stop.
complain
Everyone
about
stop.
getting
Right,
canceled
everyone
for
stop. Everyone
jokes.
stop. Everyone, I'm serving mute.
Holy
Everyone.
shit.
I have to serve and mute the whole panel. Right, this
fucking
is gone. Now we're talking about whether a joke was funny. The topic is patriotism good? Yes or no?
This is
Right.
great. I love this shit.
I didn't get to finish. I asked Stardust a
All
simple
right.
question. It turned into a 10-minute monologue.
Starguest Spraticus, go.
Thank you. So since Stardust said that realistically, right? So celebrating the CCP shouldn't be a thing, because the CCP consistently terrorizes and does terrible tragedies against its own people. Doing, not done. Doing. Like I said, it's not about how you fall; it's about how you get back up and keep moving forward.
US doesn't do that.
China has consistently shown the failure to get back up and to keep moving forward, and that's not
What?
a country I'm gonna support.
What are you talking about? China really okay. 70 years ago, China was in the middle of a civil war. Its country was raped by the Japanese invaders, completely torn apart. Then it went to a civil war between the
Wait, so
the
they're not Chinese anymore?
and Americans. I'm just gonna ignore them. Chinese and the Chinese and the Chinese nationalists and the Chinese communists fought a brutal civil war afterwards, and then they went through a Cold War and had the terrible policies of Mao Zedong, where they literally beat birds to death and shit. And right now, they're on the brink of becoming. They already are one of the biggest world powers in the world, economically rebounded
They
to
opened
huge
up their
extent.
economy
For
into
us
capitalism.
to pretend like I don't care. For us to pretend like they haven't rebounded or they haven't had any successes or that they failed or something, they have become an economic and military powerhouse and they're on the global stage. There's a reason why America right now is increasing military operations South China Sea. There's a reason
right.
why Joe Biden
right.
and China they have rebounded. So they can't get back up. They certainly have.
Dylan, you're right. You're right.
Thanks
We
to
should only
capitalism.
we should only be patriotic to countries that have an economic rebound or an economically stable.
I didn't say
or
that,
have-
but
or
you
have-
said they
have
couldn't get
great
back up.
economics.
You just said something historically inaccurate.
No. I was talking about moral falls, and China's consistently stayed with their moral faults. Right? They haven't gotten back up. They haven't learned from it, and they consistently choose not to. And that's not a country I'm really proud of. Not even in a joke. Just like I wouldn't find a
Oh
joke
my
about
God.
saying I'm KKK. I wouldn't find that funny. That's not funny.
Did you just
Oh,
equivocate
That's
somebody
a good
saying they're
example, though.
Chinese to their
That's a
really good
KKK?
example, though, right?
That's so
Wait,
funny.
my
let's talk about
God.
that for a second, right?
Oh, what is
racism-
specific?
One sec, one sec,
racism
everyone. One
and
sec,
racism
everyone.
and the
It's the- wait, 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 wait.
Jokes are
Does that
not
not apply to
funny.
America all of a sudden?
Mute, mute, mute.
Wait.
I can't mute everyone
I
fast
want to
enough.
ask Spartacus. I want to ask him this. Okay, so
All right, mine ways. All right, you can ask the question, and then we've got Stardust who's been waiting for a while.
I mean, I got something like on point right now.
no,
well,
it
I'm not
doesn't
putting
matter,
four
CT.
people in the queue.
Hold
Have a
on.
conversation.
So
Mine
the
ways.
thing is, let's talk about that, right? Okay, so you're talking about you wouldn't do that for the KKK. Well, the KKK still exists in America. Systemic racism still exists in America. Systematic
This
oppression
thing-
and inequality.
You're
still
gonna,
exists in America.
we can't, the reality, the reality
Shut
was
up.
Sprout
It's
was
my turn to
saying.
talk. It's my
The
turn to
reality
talk.
is
It's my
Sprout
turn
was
to
saying,
talk.
right?
It's my
The
turn to talk.
reality
Shut the
was,
fuck up.
the
Please
reality
shut the
was
fuck
Sprout.
up. It's
You're not
my
gonna
turn to talk.
mischaracterize somebody.
Annabelle,
Expect me to sit
where
here
you
and not
at?
say fuck
Annabelle,
all about it.
Step
Mine
in. Where you at?
Hurry on.
All
Finish.
right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about that.
You don't
Why
know
are
how to handle me on your
why
own,
are
do you? I know, because you're
Hey,
just gonna
hey,
keep
shut the
talking.
fuck up.
You're
Come on.
trying to
Let me finish
mischaracterize
for
Sprout,
1
and I'm just
second.
not gonna
He
have
is-
it.
he
I'm
is
just not
trying to
gonna have it.
mischaracterize me.
Yeah, I bet
You're
you're
trying
really
to
offended when I bring
mischaracterize
up.
it, so I'm just not
Okay,
gonna
you
listen
get
to it, right?
offended
So why do I
when
listen
I
to
bring
it?
up
This
any
works, right?
criticism of America, yet they pretend
No,
like
you
they're
can't
down
handle
to
it.
criticize
You
America.
can't handle it. Bring it to
This is a mis-
fire.
this-
You're
this
just gonna
is-
keep
Danabo-
mischaracterizing
Danabo,
somebody.
I
Danabo,
want to finish my question to
Can you hit
Spartacus.
him with the
Okay,
steel
if
chair?
I'll
Because
tell you
he's
what, you can
mischaracterizing my
restart.
argument
You can
completely.
restart, but if there's a mischaracterization at the front of it, you can expect me to
Cringe,
keep
Dylan.
going right at it.
Right.
You're better than that.
Can we? Right. Let's calm down a second. Right. You're all
Oh, I'm
professionals.
completely
Your
calm.
panel
Okay,
hosts
so-
and your professional guests.
This
Calm me
feels
down.
like
Stop
the view.
talking over each other.
It's like the
Thank you,
view.
Danabo. All right, so
fun.
Spartacus, tell me, why is it so bad to praise another country even though they have done other things in their past or currently are doing things that are atrocious or immoral considering or to you? But when I bring up immoral actions of the United States, it doesn't matter to you. You can praise that. You can praise the United States. You can be patriotic, and you get to ignore all the shitty things that
Because of
the
that caveat
America
at the end, or whether they are still.
The difference is between the moral faults.
Is it unpatriotic?
The difference
Is it
between the moral
unpatriotic?
faults
You're
of
gonna
the
ask him
United
a
States
question
of
and
America
not shut up,
and
my
China
way.
are indistinguishable from another.
Spartacus, respond. I didn't hear you.
The differences between the moral faults of the United States of America and China are indistinguishable from another. To argue that United States of America has just as much moral faults as China has, you obviously haven't been paying attention to the world stage. So if you actually look at America's history, we've gotten back up, we've moved forward, we've continued to do that. China has failed to do that over and over and over and over again. Of course, I'm not talking economically, Dylan. I'm talking about moral
And morally
faults,
on some
right?
things too. They've made improvements morally and ethically. There's been a lot of improvements since the row of Mao Zedong. I mean, there should be a lot more, but there has been.
Yeah, but you have to agree that their improvements are minute in comparison to like they're not making improvements in the same regard
at least
that
acknowledge
America
where they
is.
have improved.
I mean,
They're
yeah.
not allowing criticism of their
Look,
government. They're not allowing free speech.
I'm not saying it's equivalent. It's just really like so.
Right,
It's
I
the
know.
barrier. We're better than China morally. Therefore, we can say "Yay USA," but a Chinese person cannot say "Yay China."
No,
is that the barrier? Is that the thing? Is that the
like
rule
it's
we have?
cringe when anybody on this panel does it.
90% of the countries on the planet. That's what the difference
And this is weird too.
That's where the
because
line is.
It's weird because like we're trying to say that Americans can be patriotic about America, but Chinese people they need to basically say, death to
That's
China.
not what
Is that
anybody
what
said.
we're
I
doing
said
now?
it's cringe when people on this panel do it.
that.
Why would it be cringe for me to say,
Because it is 4th of July weekend.
I'm
sir.
trying
Where is your
very
patriotism?
hard.
Can I
Very
answer
hard
Dylan real quick?
to-
Actually, I want to. So the thing is that it's become very apparent to me that at least a couple of the Republicans or the right wingers on this panel actually do define their patriotism.
If you're Republican, raise your hand.
They actually do define their
So
their
Nacho and Phil, there's your
patriotism.
two Republicans.
Shut up, CTV. Can you ever not talk? Is it possible?
I just was
for
helping you identify the people that you were
Okay,
calling out. That
now-
way you knew who you were talking to.
Thank you for your lovely insight, CTV. All right, now what
Just
I was
trying to help
gonna
you out,
say-
brother.
Now, what I was going to say is that it's become apparent to me that some of the right wingers on here actually do define their patriotism by opposition to other countries, by outsiders, by other people that they don't identify with, right? So whenever we bring up somebody like China and say, well, hey, maybe Chinese people are able to be patriotic, or maybe we should actually celebrate where China has improved or things that they do good for their people, right? Somehow that's
said doo-doo,
offensive
by
and-
the way.
Somehow that's offensive and unpatriotic to some of the people on here. Is that correct? Is it unpatriotic to recognize
Said the
those
Chinese
things?
people
I mean,
can't
my
do
way-
it.
Dylan.
Again. Everybody stop. I'm talking. If I'm talking, I'm talking to moderate. I'm going to use my steelman chair at this point, and I'm going to hit Dylan with it. And I want Dylan to give his best faith argument on behalf of Sprout's position in response to Mind Waves.
That when it comes to America and China, the moral differences are very clear. That America is not engaged in things like what's going on in Xinjiang or anything that is China is doing domestically and possibly internationally at the moment. And so while it's not bad for a Chinese person to be proud of their country's history, for them to be proud of the current government in China would be disgusting considering the government's current conduct. Is that at all like somewhere close?
That's dead on.
Yep.
Yep.
That's good. All right. I think we came to agreement. On that note, I'm going to go into closing statements without Dr. Heemed.
Wait, whatever.
You want to respond more?
Well, no, it's just
I
weird
wanted
that
to
like the ending statement was me just saying their position. Whatever. It's okay.
Well, we're going to go into
You can
closing, so you're going to get a
merge.
chance to close. We're an hour in. Right. So we're going to have 2 minutes to close. I'm going to give a couple of an extra minute or so to some of the people that didn't get to talk. So and remember, you're all panel hosts. So you're all professionals. You don't need to do this. Stop interrupting every 5 minutes. You don't have to talk over each other. We're going to kick off in the same order. We're going to go with Mr. Phil Coe. Closing statement on this topic, please, Phil.
Thank you. We've all come together. We've all learned. We've all grown. We laughed. We cried. Yes, we have come together on an interesting topic of patriotism. And I think we might have gotten at least a little bit closer to an understanding on this. I think the left might understand, the leftists on this panel might understand the rightists a little better and vice versa. But this has been quite the talk. But like I said at the beginning, folks, love of your own country, as Oxford Dictionary defines it. There's nothing wrong with that. God bless it. And I hope every last one of you fucking beautiful people out there has a glorious, beautiful, and patriotic 4th of July. And one last thing to say, you should definitely go check out Shell Shock CBD gummies right after you subscribe to KOE Nation on YouTube and Twitch. And with that, I yield.
Dr. Heems, please.
Okay, so this was obviously a hilarious first segment. Congratulations, Danabo. You fucking baited everybody, you motherfucker.
I didn't mean to.
Oh yeah, okay. It was an accident. It's like when you're at the vending machine and you get two things, but you
Yeah,
actually
basically,
nudge,
yeah.
but you nudge the vending machine a little bit. But okay. But for on the reels though, as someone who's like an immigrant to a pretty fucking awesome country, I have this like that's going through this like indigenous unmarked grave situation this last like month. It's really weird for me. I've been put in like both camps. On one side, I'm fucking unbelievably grateful for the opportunity to live in this country, and it's changed my life and my family's life in such a way that you wouldn't believe. And I'm super fucking grateful for that. On the other hand, there are so many horrific things that this country was built upon. And I think that it's important that we recognize and don't celebrate too much. Personally, for me, we had Canada Day yesterday. And I didn't celebrate or do anything crazy. I tried to educate myself on the indigenous situation. And I think that that is part of being a patriot, is like being able to recognize that your country has flaws, but also some pretty awesome things. Bolster and praise the good things, and be open to criticizing the shitty negative parts of its history or its present, whatever the case may be. To be like to pledge your undying fucking, like, to never look at the negatives of your country. I think that's like stupid. I don't think that's a wise way to be a patriot. I think it's a grave mistake. And then finally, lastly, just about the pledging allegiance in the schools. Like, so I was born Muslim, but I'm not practicing. My parents weren't practicing, and they sent me to a Catholic school just because it was like a good school and whatnot. And even at the Catholic school, they never made us go to mass or do anything like this. That we were never forced to do these things. As someone who wasn't practicing, I was allowed to opt out of all of these things. So I think that, like, if we're gonna condemn having kind of religion taught, or whatever, in public schooling, the Pledge of Allegiance should probably also be optional as well. And there you go.
Oh, thank you very much, Heems. CTV, please.
Well, I hope it's obvious to everyone at this point that clearly Mind Waves and his not being here for a while has made him kind of soft as far as getting in a debate. And Dylan, of course, feeling threatened, right, and then having to try to swing out there a little bit and interrupt while then complaining about interrupting, right? Right. So like there's that. So clearly the left, right, is back on its heels here at the end of this one, because they knew, like, as soon as Dylan started singing the Chinese national anthem, that it was going to get some pushback, right? So and then, like, there was at one point where Dr. Heemdout, suspect Canadian, right, was a little bit more rude than I would have expected, but he's still learning. He's still immigrating into the Canadian way.
Are you doing a play-by-play?
No, interrupt him. No, interrupt him.
I don't know what this is.
Look, and then the interruptions continue even during the
Even
closing
during the
statement,
closing.
right? The left has completed the whole arc tonight, right? And with that, right, patriotism, good. Just make sure that the people that are showing that patriotism are as free as possible, while also living in a polite society, and that we don't have too many laws on the books that restrict the freedom of the people, especially with regard to civil liberties and at the individual level. So that said, great first round. I'm drinking the salty watermelon whiskey by Old Smoky, and let me tell you, folks, there's something to shill for.
I'm a little offended.
so-
I'm a little offended.
yeah.
You just completely left me out of that whole thing, huh? I just
Wow.
thought, what am I, chopped liver?
Well, you're a
Uh,
clown.
I think the reality of that, since, well, I mean, reality is that you were just so nice and sweet during that conversation that it didn't warrant the
Nope.
being
You're-
thrown in with the
Oh, okay,
anti-
okay. So
clown,
you're
you
not
bigot.
taking me
Just accept it,
seriously.
okay?
I see the way it
Closing
is.
statements. Closing
Okay.
statements. Closing statements. Dylan Burns.
So I
please.
guess
Dylan-
that no,
wait,
we just completed the whole arc with Nacho interrupted. Now the whole left right
Now-
has been
Oh,
interrupted.
okay. Yeah, he is the real. Yeah. He's the
Yeah,
one true
baby.
lefty. Dylan Burns, please.
Number one, I didn't sing the Chinese national anthem. I sung the Happy Birthday song. I don't think those two things are at all comparable. And I would ask CTV to please identify the Chinese national anthem for me in the future through Amazing Vocal Cord or repeating it, because I don't think he knows what that is. Secondary, you interrupted me, and so I just decided, you know what? If everybody, I was interrupted like 3 or 4 times, so it says, okay, I'm just gonna talk to my own community and say it to them then. Okay, you are the person who's fantasized about my penis. Okay, if you want to hit on me, just be more direct with it. I'm a blunt man. Okay, here's what you need to do. Okay, I am somebody who really likes.
Thanks for letting me know that the offer would be accepted to begin
Shut
with.
up.
Come on.
If taken out, okay,
I'm
I would
taking notes
like
here.
Jamaican jerk chicken. I like Jamaican jerk chicken, specifically Jamaican jerk chicken wings. You take me out there first, okay? You take me out there first. Of course, you'll be paying because I'm the pretty one. And so if you want to go further about fantasies about my penis, you're gonna have to do that first. Besides that, generally, I just said a funny meme and everybody got angry. Everybody got angry because right now they're just super like hyped up on America Day. And you know what? It's not even America Day. It's just the days around America Day, and just doing anything, even seeing a flag of a foreign country is enough to spur people into action.
I figure if Pride gets a whole month.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
It's America Day Eve.
Dylan,
Danabo, man.
go. If you finished.
Danabo,
Can I just say real quick? When CTV and Dylan Burns inevitably have the falling out, I'll host the reunion, okay? Let me be the mediator between you guys when it happens.
I'm not mediating. Dylan,
I'll do it. I understand both sides.
Ultimately, it just feels like it's summer. The snowflakes are melting. That's what it feels like right now.
Sure. Right, Nacho. In the middle of a drink.
Yeah, so I think there's a little bit of truth to what CTV said in the sense that I think there is a lot of, I think Mindwaves nailed it on the head earlier when he was talking about the rhetoric on the left currently as far as like patriotism. There are a lot of people who currently conflate like nationalism or like white nationalism like with patriotism, right? So a lot of the people on the left who are being critical of the country, and I think are still patriots to some degree. Like I have come across people like Dylan and others who are patriots in the sense that they want the best outcome for the country, right? We have different versions of how we're going to get there, right? And that's where, that's why I'm more like center right. Like I would like to facilitate these kinds of discussions and have, I hope that the Republican Party can find its more like traditional Republican Party roots, and that we can get back to like working together and come back to that sort of like liberal consensus, right? Where we understand that the goals of like government are to promote like infrastructure and equality under the law, et cetera, et cetera. So there are a lot of people on the left who just straight out are ready to just damn everything about America because they don't want to even be in the same universe as those who are like Mindwaves and other people have pointed out, basically abusing patriotism and misusing it in the wrong sense. So I don't know. Yeah, that's there. I sit on the fence, right? So that's what I have to say about it. I still think America's based. I think we're the best country on the planet, and I think we should keep working at a better future and a better government, better policies for the future.
Thank you, Scott Destiny. Stardust, please.
Yeah, I just gotta say, I am super surprised at the amount of sensitivity here. The rest of this, like patriotism, seems to be something we're just gonna disagree on. I think you guys know my position. I think that you can be patriotic and still criticize your country. But the thing that really just surprised me is that there are off-limit jokes. Like what? Like I think I for one think it's hilarious when people threaten me and like use KKK jokes. I think it's hilarious. Just like I think, like, China jokes are funny. This is a new type of right that I'm seeing now, where we're sensitive to jokes, where we don't like certain jokes. I don't know what happened.
They don't like clowns. Thank you very much, Stardust. Sprouticus, Starguest.
The conservatives aren't allowed to have a sense of humor anymore. We have to find every joke funny, and if we don't find that joke funny, then we're just obviously wrong because we said that that joke should be outlawed. At no point did I say that Dylan should be banned or kicked off the panel because he made a joke about the CCP. Although he started off saying it was a joke, then it became a little bit more real the longer and longer it went on. He decided to start actually like praising what China was doing and trying to bring up points to make his jokes seem relevant. And I didn't find it funny, just like I don't find KKK jokes funny. And I'm allowed to have a sense of humor. I can find funny what I want to find funny, and what I don't find funny, I could just turn the channel, right? And that's what I always suggest the people on the left start doing, is just turn the channel if you don't find it funny. With that being said, I think patriotism is a great thing. Patriotism in America is a great thing. I think it depends on what country you're from and what you're being patriotic of. Right? So if you're from the CCP and you're being patriotic of the government, I think it's absolutely disgusting. But if you're being patriotic of the United States and what we've been through and what we've came through and who we are today, then I think it's absolutely amazing. I think there's a huge difference between those two that Dylan obviously can't seem to grasp, because he's crying down the right corner. So yeah, I'll yield there.
Thank you very much, Sprout.
God damn it.
And once again, mind waves with the closing.
Yeah, I just think it's really funny that patriotism's only okay when it's applied to the United States and not any other country. I guess maybe particularly China. I don't know why. Particularly China. Would it be okay to be patriotic to Britain, to the UK? Would it be okay to be? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, thank you.
I've sang "God Save the Queen"
got
a couple
food.
of times.
All
I'm not gonna
right,
lie. Had a British girl over there. Woo-hoo-hoo, God Save the
Yeah,
Queen,
right.
right?
No, but I want to say that I think it's really disappointing that none of the lefties really got to define what patriotism means to them. Once again, the lefts kind of fell short because we were too busy caught up in what the right thinks of patriotism, right? We never got to talk about how, I don't know, maybe for my instance, patriotism means participating in democracy, right? Being able to make sure that your country takes steps forwards to better itself, loving the people that are in your country, and not excluding any group of people from that love, right? I think that's very patriotic. I think it's very patriotic to... Oh, thank you, Dr. Pepper. I think it's also very patriotic to, be proud of the progress that we have had in the United States, right? A lot of people on the right brought up, oh, well, we freed the slaves. Yeah, I think we should be proud of that. I think that, we should also look at the fact that we did have slaves and be ashamed of that. But I think that we should also be proud that, yeah, we take steps as a nation to realize that that's wrong, take steps forward. And I think it's also good to acknowledge where we've come short, right? I think it's also good to be patriotic in the sense that, recognize that freeing the slaves isn't always, that's not the end all be all of solving racism or systematic oppression in the United States as well, right? But whenever I bring that up, it seems like the right always gets really offended and thinks that that's not patriotic. I don't really know why.
Right, because you listen to the conversation.
Yeah, that's okay, CTV. Your closing statement was very good. Let me have mine. All right. So
well, you interrupted mine. So,
yeah.
Well, I guess we're allowed to interrupt now, Danabo. Can I just talk now? Is that okay? Right? It's allowed. It's okay. It sounds like you're not stopping me. I just keep you talking, not doing anything, so we're allowed, right? Okay, nobody's stopping me.
I hate you all. I hate you all.
All right, you shitter. All right, so I think it's very important to not only talk about what patriotism is, but also what it's not, right? And patriotism is not obeying all the laws in your country, right? Patriotism is not thinking that your country is superior to others or getting offended at the existence or jokes of other countries, right? I don't know why the CCP even being brought up or even anything like that is somehow unpatriotic. I don't know, that's really weird to me. I think that goes to show that the right does view patriotism as opposition to something else or another group of people or another country. And I think that's a shame. I think we really need to fight to fix that on the left. So yeah.
You don't know how praising the CCP
Hey,
is unpatriotic.
That's the end. That's the end of the
a
first
joke?
topic. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating. Remember, you're all here because you agreed. I don't know why you're here. Thank you very much, everyone.